Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Randy's Old Time Radio Shows. And prepare yourselves for a journey beyond time, beyond logic, and possibly beyond grading curves. Tonight, we open the portal to Dr. Dimension, the thrilling, chilling, and occasionally confusing chronicles of one slightly off-centered college professor and brave, bewildered students who cracked the code of time travel and decided to ride the chaos like it's part of the curriculum. With a whir of gears and a questionable safety plan, they tumble through time, never quite knowing where or when they'll land. So buckle in, adjust your lab goggles, and whatever you do, don't touch the blinking button. This is Dr. Dimension.
Teatro Fantasia. Welcome to the theater of the ear. Stage for the imagination. Imagination. Where every fantasy may be fact. Where every fact may be pure fantasy. Stage for the imagination. Imagination. Welcome to Teatro Fantasia. Dr. Dimension, Episode 1.
No need to swear, Doc.
Demetrius Demopoulos, Ph.D., popped his frizzy, graying head out of the access hatch and gave his lab assistant a sardonic leer.
Talbot, you incredible boob. For your information, a bastard file is a file of a certain grade of coarseness suitable for use on metal. There's a bit of a flange on this thermal couple, and I simply must file it down. So if it's not too much trouble...
Sorry, Doc.
Talbot moved his big athletic frame toward the toolbox. He was tall and lanky for a football player, but was the best quarterback Fleitheimer University had. In fact, he was the only quarterback. Both the starter and his backup were out for the season, with mononucleosis and terminal pyorrhea, respectively. Troy, the third stringer, was doing fairly well, considering. He could throw a dangerous screen pass, discounting that it was sometimes dangerous for his own team. Nevertheless, Fleitheimer had lost every game so far this season.
Where has our bodacious research assistant got to?
Diane Derry, tall and blonde with cornflower blue eyes that could melt a glacier at 50 paces, came scurrying out of the control room, hugging a clipboard to the ample bosom that her white lab coat tried to hide, and her tight red wool sweater voluptuously accentuated.
Here, Dr. Demopoulos. I've got those resistor calibrations for you. I just worked them out on my slide rule.
Good. I'll need them in just a second as soon as I... now, let me see.
He passed a hand through the tangle of salt and pepper curls that topped his head, then adjusted his black, round-rimmed spectacles, lenses which looked very much like the bottoms of Coca-Cola bottles.
You'd better let me handle that, Doc.
Oh, nonsense. I'll have it fixed in just a jiffy. If I can just get it into position here.
Doc, you're lousy with tools. You know that.
Don't trouble that handsome and mostly empty head of yours, Talbot. I'm no grease monkey, but I am a member of the order of primates, all of whom have 5 prehensile appendages on the end of each arm, making 10 fingers in all, and all of which, working together in a complex and coordinated way, are perfectly capable of manipulating tools. Tools, Talbot. Primates are tool users. So I know whereof I speak.
He leaned forward and reached inside the strange contraption, which took up most of the shoddily constructed and supposedly temporary lab annex of Fleitheimer University's physical science building.
Yeah, Doc, but that doesn't mean you can...
Yow!
Skin to knuckle, eh, Doc?
Talbot, you consummate moron. Yes, I've skinned a knuckle. Any other brilliant empirical observation you'd care to make? Don't be silly. I just scream periodically to equalize the pressure. Cut me down from this thing.
They eased him down the ladder. Once safely at the bottom, the distinguished physicist took a step back and surveyed the complex and sophisticated machine that was the culmination of years of dedicated scientific research and painstaking technological development.
What a pile of junk.
Oh, no, Dr. Demopoulos. Don't say that.
Well, it is. Time machine my bum. This thing couldn't give you the time of day, much less travel through it.
But we haven't incorporated all our latest test data yet. These last few adjustments might do it, Professor.
The time machine was, in the main, a copper-clad aluminum sphere, constructed of welded sections, sitting on a tripod affair of titanium struts. A few mammalian bulges, housings for various sensing and communications devices, afflicted its smooth surface here and there. Its main hatch, a circular lozenge near the circumference of the sphere, hung forlornly open. Otherwise, the device was slickly futuristic in a quasi-Art Deco kind of way, and very sexy indeed. The trouble was, it didn't work.
We've been tinkering with it for 2 years. We've tried everything, and it's all come to nothing but dog poop.
No, it's not, Professor. It's not dog poop.
Pound leavings, canine fertilizer,
No.
doggy diddlies, puppy premium.
No, Doctor, please. Don't belittle your tremendous accomplishment.
God, I'm depressed.
Don't talk like that, Dr. D.
It's 1939 already. All these years I've been waiting for the breakthrough, for the day when I could jump up and yell, Eureka! But all I can say to myself is, you big dope.
As long as we get that grant from the Fleightheimer Foundation, we'll all keep our jobs for another 2 years.
Sure. Fat chance of that.
If you can make a good presentation to the Fleitheimers at the department meeting.
Old Sam and Sarah. It's what Sarah wants that counts. That old battle axe runs Sam like a pony at Aqueduct. She calls the shots, and she just happens to hate my bloody gut.
Well, Doc, you shouldn't have gone skinny dipping in her swimming pool at that fancy party she threw for the faculty.
I was drunk. Besides, the 2 department secretaries I got drunk with were naked, too. It seemed like the gentlemanly thing to do.
Mrs. Fleitheimer doesn't exactly hate you.
She hates me exactly. It is exactly me she hates more than anyone in the world.
Professor, that's not true.
No, you're right. She hates Hitler more than me. But she hates me more than she hates Gary.
But you're a distinguished scientist. She should put personal prejudice aside and award the Fleitheimer Sustaining Research Grant on the basis of merit.
She'll award it to whoever our schmuck of a department chairman says to award it to. And our schmuck of a department chairman is the pliant creature of another woman who'd like to have me stuffed and mounted on a wall.
That couldn't be Dr. Vivian Vernon now, could it?
Granted, Dr. Wussman is engaged to Dr. Vernon. But surely he is capable of making an unbiased recommendation.
Dr. Wussman couldn't make poo-poo on a potty chair without having Mother Vivian around to wipe him. She's got the grant, and that's that.
But there are other sources of grant money.
There's a depression on, didn't you know? Besides, the Fleitheimers own this podunk college. The trustees even changed the name of the damn place to suit them.
True. I did like Cowper College better.
Or Cowpie College, like the wits used to say down at the frat house.
Robert Benchley's to a man, those frat boys.
Dr. Demopoulos, let's give it another try. Another static test run.
Oh, what the hell? I've got nothing better to do.
That's the spirit,
The
Doc.
department meeting is in 45 minutes. If you can give them some positive results.
Yeah, sure, and pigs will start a major airline. Okay, once more into the breach, dear friends. I just hope we don't soil our breeches.
Doctor, that's a terrible pun.
Just remember, I'm the brilliant scientist, and you're the beautiful assistant. Let's keep it basic.
They all filed into the glass-fronted control room, where the doctor seated himself at a large console that bristled with levers and switches.
Turn it off!
He threw a few of these levers and watched needles pulsate on luminous dials. His assistants took their stations at instrument panels behind him.
Drawing 2,000 volts at 12 amperes.
Electron multipliers activated.
Radium clock reset and running.
Coils at full inductance.
Super heterodyne circuits engaged.
Rectifiers at maximum voltage.
The doctor, his frizzy hair standing on end, stared out through the glass as the copper-hued spherical machine began to emit a low, ominous whine. From other auxiliary equipment in the lab came the buzz of surging energies and the snap of hurtling electrons. And with these sounds, the thin-walled lab annex reverberated from the gray slab floor to the corrugated tin roof. The whining increased in pitch until it became an ear-splitting yowl. Suddenly, the coppery globe became the source of weird, ionized discharges that played about its surface like glowing, spidery fingers.
Now, do I give it negative or positive polarity?
Negative means the time machine will go into the past. Positive, the future. At least that's what our equations say.
Yeah, either that or the thing will levitate. I've never really decided whether this contraption's supposed to be a time machine or an anti-gravity
The
device.
field equations can be solved both ways, Doctor. We've gone over that 100 times.
Yeah. I wonder what would happen if I left it on positive and inverted the phase delay on the carrier voltage.
Dr. Demopoulos, we've never tried
We
that.
tried everything else. I guess I just pushed this button.
But Dr. D!
Here goes.
A spark leapt from the copper sphere to a nearby Tesla coil, and gray mushroom clouds of smoke arose from both. Lightning-like spears of energy shot around the lab, making the tin wall shake and rattle. Sparks cascaded in a dazzling display of fireworks.
Throw the emergency cutoff!
Gotcha, Doc. I'll hit the main circuit breaker.
For all his all-American reflexes, though, he was a microsecond late. The lab annex blew up quite nicely. However, a split second before it did, the extremities of the spherical machine's tripod legs began, tentatively and almost imperceptibly, to lift off the concrete floor.
What in heaven's name was that?
Dr. Jeffrey Wussman, a bald, gnomish man in tweeds, whirled around on his Morocco leather office chair and nearly toppled over. Vivian Vernon, Ph.D., was sitting on the window seat with her shapely legs crossed, calmly smoking a Pall Mall in a teak cigarette holder. The afternoon sun glamorously backlighted her auburn hair.
Just the lab annex blowing up.
What? That's the second time this year. I'll bet it's Demopoulos.
Who else? The man is a complete incompetence.
Oh, but he continually makes a shambles of that place. If we have to keep dumping money into repairs, we'll never get that permanent lab building.
Relax. Dearest Demi's grant source has run dry. He's strapped. He'll have to stop his experiments. Then we can clear out all his junk, and the department can reclaim the annex.
Reclaim a wreck, you mean? That's what he's turned it into.
Dr. Wussman halted his motion of turning from the window, brought up short by an arresting sight, the hiked hemline of Dr. Vernon's tight black dress. Wussman felt a sudden, lustful pang.
My dear, did I ever tell you what wonderful legs you have?
Many times, Jeffrey, dear. You're sweet.
When we finally get married, I'll get to see every inch of them, not just the tantalizing portion you torture me with every day. By the way, when are we going to get married?
Soon, dear.
But darling, we've been engaged for 8 years.
All good things are worth waiting for, Jeffrey, dear.
Well, I'll have to have a serious talk with Demetrius very soon. We've had enough unscheduled expenses around this place. What with the depression and the constant budget cuts, we're lucky this university still has a physics department.
Depression or not, the Fleitheimers are looking to dump more money on the university. Perhaps Sam can be persuaded to give us a new lab building.
Oh, how I wish.
This research grant is peanuts. They have more money than they know what to do with. And all you have to do, Jeffrey, dear, is show them what valuable research the department is doing.
For instance?
Why, my work on the electrodynamics of isotropic crystal formation, for instance.
Oh, that. You've been doing that since you were an undergrad.
Are you saying it's not valuable work?
Oh, no, of course not. Of course, it's legitimate scientific investigation and all. It's just that, Vivian, my pretty darling, it's just not, box office.
Whatever do you mean?
Well, the Fleitheimers don't know anything about science, let alone solid research work in physics. They won't be impressed by something so, esoteric. Now, what Demetrius is working on, well, that's something with pizzazz.
His time machine?
His, time machine? He's supposed to be working on splitting the atom.
Oh, that would be too mundane for Demetrius. My sources tell me that it's a time machine.
How do you know? He hasn't told anybody what he's working on.
I have my little ways of getting information.
Yeah, no doubt you have, my dear, but still, time machines are a little more glamorous than crystal formations.
Vivian tapped her cigarette out on the windowsill and rose to her full height, which was considerably more than that of the bald, homuncular Dr. Wussman. In doing so, she revealed her full figure. She was a knockout in a slinky black dress, and this was not lost on her department chairman. He got to his feet and looked up into her gray-green eyes and despaired. He gathered her in and clung to her for dear life.
Oh, darling, it's been such a long wait. Couldn't we just once...
No, Jeffrey, darling. If we can sell the Fleitheimers on the importance of pure scientific research, this department will be sitting pretty. Mrs. Fleitheimer is active in politics, Jeffrey. She has no end of friends in Washington. One of them is a certain tallish buck-toothed lady by the name of Eleanor.
Eleanor? Oh, you don't mean Mrs. Roosevelt.
The same. A war just started in Europe, Jeffrey. The U.S. could be dragged into it. Hitler invaded Poland, remember? War. Think research and development. Think of huge grants for weapon research.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Millions of dollars worth of grant money. More than enough to build not just a proper lab building, but think of this. An Institute for Theoretical Studies dedicated to pure research. A Temple of Science, headed by Jeffrey H. Wussman, Ph.D., at a salary of no less than $20,000 per annum.
$20,000 a year?
The salary of the chairman of the most important scientific research outfit in the country? A pittance, merely an honorarium.
Jeffrey lost interest in Vivian's anatomy. He stared out the window at the peaceful quadrangle where mild autumn breezes fanned the flames of the burning lab annex.
Chairman of the Institute for Theoretical Studies. What's in it for you, Vivian?
I'd be director of research. And, of course, the wife of the chairman.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. We haven't even convinced the Fleitheimers about the tiny little sustaining grant, much less the rest of it. Oh, I know that Sarah is very skeptical about funding science. She likes the arts. Doesn't like science. She told me at a dinner party once, too much math. Too hard to understand. So what good is it if nobody can understand it, she said. Well, what good is it? I can't believe she said that.
Leave that silly old bag to me. Just you leave everything to me.
I usually do. You have such a nice office here, Vivian. In fact, it's better than mine.
You insisted I take the corner office on the quadrangle. Don't you remember?
Oh, that's right, I did indeed. Nevertheless, it seems odd that the chairman of the department wouldn't have something better than that cubbyhole of mine.
Oh, you've been good to me, Jeffrey, very good. I'm so grateful to you for looking after my career, my needs.
God, I hate running an outfit with a tin cup. All scientific endeavor should be financed by the government.
That's definitely on the agenda, Jeffrey, sweetest. You love it, you filthy slave.
Oh, God, don't start, Vivian. I'll want you to get into your leathers, and we don't have time.
Who's Vivian's little love slave?
Oh, please, dear, not now.
Who'll do his mistress's every bidding and lot?
Ouch! Oh, God, me.
Who'll get down on his chubby little knees if his mistress tells him to, and eat dog food out of his dirty little dog dish?
No, me. I will.
15 extra minutes of house training tonight, and then you hightail it home like a good little puppy.
Oh, I'll be there, dearest Vivian. Mistress Vivian.
Come along, Jeffrey. What's wrong, Jeffrey?
Well, nothing's wrong. In fact, I've been inspired. You hurry to the meeting. I'm going to get some art materials, white illustration board, pencils, my pastels.
Whatever are you up to?
I've enough of a flair for the visual to do the kind of thing we need. Go stall the Fleitheimers. I'll work as fast as I can.
But, Jeffrey, they're waiting.
Go!
Astonished, Vivian left to do his bidding. She'd rarely seen him like this. A benign fall breeze on his back, Dr. Jeffrey Wussman began hurriedly to sketch his daydreams.
Don't you worry, Professor. We'll get her working again.
The campus fire brigade got the blaze out in short order. Lab coat smudged and torn, Dr. Demopoulos surveyed the damage. The gigantic Tesla coil was still standing, but had been turned into a tower of twisted metal. Above it yawned a gaping hole, blackened and charred around the edges, that the blast had punched into the corrugated metal roof of the annex. Much equipment had been damaged or lost to the flames, but fortunately the time machine's exterior had survived unscathed, save for some scorching along the underside. The strange machine's deliverance was an even stranger turn of events, for it had seemed the focal point of the conflagration. Dr. Demopoulos gave some thought to this puzzle. Perhaps the machine had been partially shielded by the truncated wall of sandbags that the professor had bade Troy stack up against a real emergency. However, Troy had barely begun the job. Thus the mystery remained. The machine's exterior was one story, the interior another. Although fire damage inside the vessel was minimal, virtually all the electronic gear had burnt out. The ship was a useless hulk.
But what the hell is it? A time machine or an anti-gravity device?
Heck, Doc, that's a spaceship.
It's a time machine.
It's a spaceship.
It's a time machine.
Spaceship.
Time machine.
I hate like hell to bring up the obvious, but have you two twits considered the possibility that it might be two?
Two?
Two ships in one.
He's right. It's both. It's a space-time ship. Of course, according to Einstein's special theory of relativity, time is merely one dimension of space, the fourth dimension. If the machine can travel in time, it can travel in space, too.
And vice versa, though you only notice it at relativistic velocity.
Wow, this is great. Once we get it working, we can go anywhere in this
Or
thing.
any when, any place, or any time in the whole space-time
But
continuum.
the problem is controlling the craft and knowing where the heck you're going.
Hey, Doc, you got any ideas about that? About navigation, that kind of stuff?
Don't bother me. I'm lost in deep cogitation.
Oh, my gosh. The meeting.
Huh?
The department meeting with the Flyheimers. They probably started already.
Oh. Yeah, I'll get right over there.
Hurry, Professor.
Yeah, sure.
What the heck is space-time?
Last episode.
What a pile of junk.
The time machine was, in the main, a copper-clad aluminum sphere, constructed of welded sections, sitting on a tripod affair of titanium struts, and very sexy indeed. The trouble was, it didn't work.
Let's give it another try. Another static test run.
Oh, what the hell? I've got nothing better to do.
That's the spirit,
The
Doc.
department meeting is in 45 minutes. If you can give them some positive results.
Yeah, sure, and pigs will start a major airline. I wonder what would happen if I left it on positive and inverted the phase delay on the carrier voltage.
Dr. Demopoulos, we've never tried that.
We tried everything else. I guess I just pushed this button.
But Dr. D!
Here goes.
Spark leapt from the copper sphere to a nearby Tesla coil, and gray mushroom clouds of smoke arose from both. Lightning-like spears of energy shot around the lab, making the tin wall shake and rattle. Sparks cascaded in a dazzling display of fireworks.
Throw the emergency cutoff!
Gotcha, Doc. I'll hit the main circuit breaker.
For all his all-American reflexes, though, he was a microsecond late. The lab annex blew up quite nicely.
What in heaven's name was that?
Just the lab annex blowing up.
That's the second time this year. I'll bet it's Demopoulos. If we have to keep dumping money into repairs, we'll never get that permanent lab building.
Relax. Dearest Demi's grant source has run dry. He's strapped. He'll have to stop his experiments. Then we can clear out all his junk. and the department can reclaim the annex.
Reclaim a wreck, you mean?
If we can sell the Fleitheimers on the importance of pure scientific research, this department will be sitting pretty.
By the way, when are we going to get married?
Soon, dear.
But, darling, we've been engaged for 8 years.
All good things are worth waiting for, Jeffrey, dear. Who's Vivian's little love slave,
Oh, please, dear, not now.
Who'll do his mistress's every bidding and love?
Ouch! Oh, God. Me.
Who'll get down on his chubby little knees if his mistress tells him to, and eat dog food out of his dirty little dog dish?
No, me. I will.
What the hell is it? A time machine or an anti-gravity device?
Heck, Doc, that's a spaceship.
It's a time machine.
It's a spaceship.
It's a time machine.
Spaceship.
Time machine.
I hate like hell to bring up the obvious, but have you two twits considered the possibility that it might be two?
Two?
Two ships in one.
He's right. It's both. It's a space-time ship. Oh, my gosh. The meeting.
Huh?
The department meeting with the Fleitheimers. They probably started already.
Oh. Yeah, I'll get right over there.
Hurry, Professor.
Doctor Dimension, Episode 2.
Sam Fleitheimer, large of bone and shiny of head, puffed on a big Cuban cigar. His dark suit was conservative, and his smile seemed perpetual. Mrs. Fleitheimer was compact and cylindrical. No matter where you measured her circumference below the neck, shoulders, bust, midriff, waist, hips, it looked to be the same. Her hair was unnaturally red and cropped modishly short. She wore a flashy diamond necklace. Her dress looked fresh from the fall line of one of New York's fashionable and expensive Fifth Avenue clothing stores. In fact, most of her wardrobe had come from New York's 7th Avenue, wholesale. Her shoes matched her dress. Besides a gold wedding band, she wore no less than 4 rings, 2 diamond, an emerald, and a ruby. Her bracelets were 18-karat gold, as were her earrings.
Science is so inhuman. I don't like it. It's mathematical, cold. I like warm things, human things.
She likes those sissy dancers at the ballet.
Sam, don't show your lack of culture.
What culture? Bunch of skinny women up on their toes, sissy boys picking them up and handing them around. Culture, schmulture.
My husband doesn't appreciate the finer things.
Mrs. Fleitheimer apologized to the assembled staff of the physics department. Vivian, unable to explain the delay of Dr. Wussman, was giving some excuse about some last-minute work to do on his presentation when the door to the conference room opened, and in walked Jeffrey Wussman, a single large rectangle of illustration board under his left arm. He came to the table, laid the board down, and took his seat.
Sorry, folks, sorry. I got a little behind schedule. Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Fleitheimer. So nice to see you both.
Yeah, really swell, yeah.
Let me get right to the point. There is much to be said for culture, and ballet is certainly a wonderful example of sensitive and refined emotional expression. But I don't think that ballet is going to fuel our national engines of progress. And we certainly don't want to throw youngsters in tights and tutus against the Hun, if, God forbid, we have to participate in a war in Europe.
Dr. Wussman is right. The Nazis are a threat to the world. Sample my homemade chocolate chip cookies, Mr. Fleitheimer.
She set the tray on the table and surreptitiously ran a hand down Mr. Fleitheimer's broad back in a way that was quite open to interpretation. Sam smiled up at her.
Don't mind if I do. May I? You have a point about Nazis, dear. They're monsters.
We're so happy you've decided to make a contribution to the welfare of the department and therefore to the university and to science, not to mention...
It's all my husband's idea.
You got that right.
Yes, certainly. The money will certainly be put to good use. We haven't quite decided how to spend it yet, however. Use it wisely, we certainly will. Yes, I'd like to talk about the future of this department and the future of Fleitheimer University, about the choices we make now and how these will affect revenues in years to come, especially with regards to government funding of scientific research. Yes, I want to show you something. I believe, Mrs. Fleitheimer, that this will also appeal to your admirable sense of aesthetics.
Mrs. Fleitheimer looked on with a mouthful of her second mammoth handful of chocolate chip cookies. Dr. Wussman tilted up the illustration board. On it, he had sketched his vision in a burst of rushed inspiration not 10 minutes ago.
A temple of science, the Institute for the Study of Physical Theory. A hallowed institution that will not only be a testimony to pure science, but will also serve as an inspiration to the people of the world, a shining example, a beacon of enlightenment, proving that America is good for other things besides making cars and air conditioners and radios and other petty material distractions. It will attract the best scientific talent from all over the globe.
Wussman's hasty architectural rendering in charcoal and pastel portrayed a clutch of buildings done in a hodgepodge of pseudo-classical styles surrounded by sweeping lawns and formal gardens.
Now remember, this is just a preliminary sketch. An architect could do wonders with just the ideas I've doodled here, but I trust you get the general drift.
Yep, more expensive buildings. We've been nudged into building 5 of them on this campus so far.
Oh, yes, I know. The School of Performing Arts, the New Student Union, the Center for Humanitarian and Altruistic Studies.
Yeah, the Board of Trustees did a pretty good job of setting me up in the construction business, with my money, of course. Trouble is, buildings don't do anything for me.
Don't do anything for you?
Doesn't reach me right here in my pupik. I don't get excited over bricks and mortar.
But you haven't heard my ideas about what we'll study at this new facility. Mrs. Fleitheimer, you'd be very interested to hear my theories about the merging of art and science, of aesthetics and physics.
Just then the door crashed open. A burly, wild-haired figure hurtled through, waving his arms wildly.
Stop the meeting!
What on earth's wrong?
The pizza came, and I don't have enough to tip the delivery boy. Come on, everybody, pony up.
Demetrius, please. We're having a serious discussion here. By the way, you look a mess.
Not to worry. This is my old lab coat. Ah, Mr. and Mrs. Fleitheimer. What bamboozle has Niles Boring here been trying to put over on you?
Hi, Demetrius. Hey, when are you going to come over for another swim party?
Anytime, Sam. Hi, Sarah. How's Trix?
Dr. Demopoulos.
Hi, Viv. Castrated anyone lately?
Dr. Demopoulos brushed past his rival, making sure to give her a nice backhanded squeeze on the rump. Mrs. Fleitheimer could only stare up at this dark apparition, half-eaten cookie in one hand, a darkly disapproving frown on her pale brow. Mr. Fleitheimer, on the other hand, seemed rather glad for the intrusion.
Actually, we've just agreed to fund a physics institute.
No, we haven't. We've agreed to study ballet.
Our project is academically and scientifically progressive and sound.
Proudly, he held up the illustration board with its Greco-Roman approximations. Dr. Demopoulos grabbed it away and held it up to the slant of afternoon light from the window, subjecting it to his withering, critical eye.
What's this? Okay, I'll bite. You're starting a chain of casinos. Or brothels. Which is it?
Dr. Demopoulos, read.
Let me get this stuff out of the way. I'm pooped.
You look a little ragged, old man. What happened?
I had an argument with the second law of thermodynamics.
Anything to do with all the fire alarms?
The law won. That was nothing. Just a little altercation.
So what little bit of curiosity you've been working on lately?
A time machine.
Incredible.
Yep. Or a spaceship. Maybe an anti-gravity device.
Well, I'll be. No kidding.
No kidding, Sam. Trouble is, doesn't work all that well yet.
Doesn't work at all.
Well, we really haven't tested it properly.
Spaceship or a time machine? Now, there's something I could sink my teeth into.
And get into your pulpit.
It'll be great if I can get it to work. I'll win the Nobel. Edison, Tesla, Marconi, et al. Forget it. These guys were pikers. This is bigger than anything they ever did.
Who's Ed Al?
Mr. Fleitheimer, is that your Lincoln Zephyr in the parking lot? The maroon one with the gleaming chrome hubcaps and the Alf Landon for President bumper sticker?
Yeah, that's my car.
Then, sir, you are a reader of scientific romances in the manner of H.G. Wells and Jules Verne. maybe Buck Rogers, too.
And you're a bit of a Sherlock Holmes, too. How'd you deduce that?
Actually, there's a copy of the latest issue of Incredible Tales of Super Science in the back seat. But when I espied it, I thought to myself, aha! Now there's a man who will appreciate a bit of super science.
And I've been an Incredible Tales reader for years. You're right. In fact, I read all the scientific pulps.
He stays up all night sometimes, reading and reading.
What else do I get to do in bed besides sleep?
Let me guess, Dr. Demopoulos. You're starting your own cheap pulp magazine, Mad Scientist Monthly.
Oh, splendid idea, Dr. Viv. But no, I have something in mind far more exciting. Something that will blow the lid off of science as we know it. Something that will not only move our minds and imaginations to outer space, something beyond the walls of academia. We are about to participate in a great adventure. We are about to experience something.
Experience what?
The awe, the mystery that reaches from the inner mind to out there somewhere. You know, to travel in space and time, to go where no man has gone before. To boldly go where no man has gone before.
To go boldly. You're splitting the infinitive.
It's infinity that I want to sunder by Kronos' brazen bollocks.
How vulgar.
What a journey that would be.
But it's a journey not only of distance. We'll strike off in a different direction altogether. A new dimension.
Travel into other dimensions, too? Gosh, you got the whole Michigas working. What dimension? The fourth?
Something tells me there's another dimension. A fifth dimension. Beyond that which is known to man.
No kidding. What kind of dimension is it?
It's a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind.
Mind? Tell us more about this new Demetrius dimension, dimension Demetrius.
All I know is that it's as vast as space and timeless as infinity. It's some sort of middle ground between light and shadow, between
science and superstition?
Yes! Reaching from the pit of man's fears to the something. I'll have to work on that for the proposal anyway. It'll be the greatest adventure anyone's ever undertaken. I just hope I don't wind up at the Undertaker's. Ye gods, maybe I am mad.
I think it's great. When do we start?
Oh, why, he's already started, haven't you, Dr. Demopoulos?
Yeah. Well, we've had a few dry runs, and then that little mishap when I reversed phase, or did I reverse polarity? No, phase. Though I forget if I actually hit the switch or not. It happened so fast.
Why, with the research grant, you could make repairs and try again, couldn't you?
It's useless. As it is now, the machine's a pile of scrap. Maybe it'll never work.
Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't give up.
Perhaps we should take Dr. Demopoulos at his word. Maybe the time machine spaceship is a device whose time has not yet come.
Thanks for that vote of confidence, Vivian. Hell, it could work. It just hasn't so far.
Exactly how is this contraption of yours supposed to work, Doc? Does she have rockets?
No, sir. That would be a rocket ship. There are, in fact, propulsion systems in my vessel modeled on the brilliant work of Dr. Robert Goddard. But these are only used to orient the ship along its axis and maneuver short distances. No, what the ship does essentially is to take the very fabric of space and time, the whole multi-dimensional geometry of existence as delineated by such lights as Hilbert, Riemann, and Einstein, and warp, bend, and folded in such a way as to keep the ship constantly sliding down the near side of a moving depression, sort of a mobile dimple in the continuum. The slick thing is that this dimple can move faster than the speed of light, since it's non-material. Are you getting the picture? Either that, or the ship turns quantum uncertain and propagates itself through the interstellar medium like a wave.
How does this machine work?
I don't know. But I'm sure, well, I'm not real sure. It's highly probable that it's not highly probable.
Is there anything that you do know?
Not much, but I think the time machine angle might be moot. As we have it configured now, I'd say the odds are on the spaceship side, with maybe some dimension stuff going on as a sideline.
Do you really think the thing will travel into space?
Think of the market possibilities. Mr. Fleitheimer, need to say more? Isn't a market economy what America is all about?
Isn't it true the lab blew up exactly 1 hour ago? The professor's students have a predisposition to duck under their desk when he starts lab. They've nicknamed him Dr. Dangerous.
Dr. Dangerous? I kind of like that. But from now on, my name will be...
Well...
Dr. Space Guy. No, Dr... let's see.
Dr. Dimwit.
Kindly drop dead, Viv, darling. I'll think of something later. Meanwhile, let's not quibble about a little damage.
A little damage? Come on now, Demetrius.
What's a small explosion between friends? Hey, you can't make a scientific omelet without breaking the occasional cosmic egg or burning a few buns.
The lab annex is in shambles.
Nonsense. There's just this huge gaping hole in it. True, most of the roof's gone, but we can fix it. Besides, I hesitate to report this since the findings are rather preliminary.
What findings?
We got positive results right before things got dicey.
Positive results? You mean the thing started to work before the explosion?
Well, it lifted off the ground for a second or two.
Oh, a second or two.
Do you have any recordings of these results?
Nah. The recording instruments burned out and all the paper tape was lost in the fire. I saw the ship rise, though. On second thought, it could have been due to the blast effect.
And you call that positive result?
All the same, I think it's great. It's a project I can sink my teeth into. I like it.
I hate it. You won't get any money from me.
Well, he'll get it from me, then, out of my own pocket. To heck with the foundation. How much do you figure you'll need, Doc?
Demetrius sat down again, lifted a pen from Wisman's breast pocket, and started scribbling on the back of his architectural maunderings. Dr. Vernon rose from her seat, visions of temples evaporating along with promotions and salary increases, to say nothing of her career. She flapped her hand, as though shooing away all the foregoing nonsense like a puff of noxious gas.
Gentlemen, aren't we jumping to conclusions here? I mean, Mr. Fleitheimer, you're simply going to hand this lunatic a wad of money because he claims to have some gadget that can work miracles? This Rube Goldberg contraption he's talking about? When you ask him how it works, all he gives you is gobbledygook.
I suppose I should at least get a gander at this machine before I make my commitment.
Well, perhaps another test run might be in order after repairs are effected. And I'm sure Dr. Nemopoulos would be amenable. Right, Demetrius?
What? Hey, anybody know what 9 times 8 is?
72.
Wait. Okay. Sam, looks like $400 ought to do it.
$400?
Wait. Throw in another 50 for a new magneto. I don't think my lab assistant can fix the old
Nonsense. This is ridiculous. Absurd.
Too much? Okay, I can get by with just the 400. I'll beat up on Talbot and get him to fix the magneto. Actually, I'll settle for 350.
Too low, Demetrius. Look, from what you said, it'll take an even 1,000 just to get that lab back into shape. What if we make it, say, 4,000 instead of 400?
4,000?
Make it 5. Yeah, that's more respectable for a spaceship building project.
Easy and over. Thanks, Sam.
My pleasure. When do you figure to get this gizmo of yours working?
Hard to say, Sam. Hard to say. Maybe in a year or 2, maybe 3.
Or 4 or 5 or more.
Nah, 3 ought to do it.
Well, I guess a thing this important takes time.
But if we don't stop for coffee, I'd like to be ready for another static test within a week.
A week? Say, that'd be fine. If you don't mind, I'd like to watch.
And, of course, the grant award will be contingent on an on-site inspection of the experiment.
But I'll need the dough to fix the thing.
Why don't we trot over to the damaged lab and have a look now? All we have is your word that this improbable contraption even exists.
Well, I don't think it's quite ready for public...
Just as I thought. Lots of talk, but when asked to produce, nothing. How like a man.
Demetrius, I'll have my secretary deliver the 400 tomorrow morning. That much I can get out of petty cash.
Thanks, Sam.
Well, we have to be moving along. Dr. Wussman, thanks for your fine presentation. Come along, dear.
Well, I think we've all learned something today.
Oh, shut up.
Last episode.
Stop the meeting! Stop the meeting!
What on earth's wrong?
The pizza came and I don't have enough to tip the delivery boy. Come on, everybody. Pony up.
Demetrius, please. We're having a serious discussion here.
Ah, Mr. and Mrs. Fleitheimer. What bamboozle has Niles Boring here been trying to put over on you?
Actually, we've just agreed to fund a physics institute.
No, we haven't. We've agreed to study ballet.
So what little bit of curiosity you've been working on lately?
A time machine.
Incredible.
Or a spaceship. Maybe an anti-gravity device. I'd say the odds are on the spaceship side, with maybe some dimension stuff going on as a sideline.
Do you really think the thing will travel into space?
Think of the market possibilities. Mr. Fleitheimer, need to say more? Isn't a market economy what America is all about?
Isn't it true the lab blew up exactly 1 hour ago? The professor's students have a predisposition to duck under their desk when he starts lab. They've nicknamed him Dr. Dangerous.
Dr. Dangerous? I kind of like that. But from now on, my name will be...
Well?
Dr. Space Guy. No, Dr... let's see.
Dr. Dimwit.
Kindly drop dead, Viv, darling. I'll think of something later.
I think it's great. It's a project I can sink my teeth into. I like it.
I hate it. You won't get any money from me.
Well, he'll get it from me, then, out of my own pocket. To heck with the foundation. How much do you figure you'll need, Doc?
Hey, anybody know what 9 times 8 is?
72.
Right. Okay. Sam, looks like $400 ought to do it.
What if we make it, say, 4,000 instead of 400?
4,000?
Make it 5. Yeah, that's more respectable for a spaceship building project.
Easy and over. Thanks, Sam.
My pleasure.
Doctor Dimension, Episode 3.
Doctor, you've been working on the space time machine for nearly 4 days straight.
Yeah, that's about the size of it. On second thought, Diane, maybe you're right. What I need is a good night's sleep.
You know, you really shouldn't work so hard. We may perfect this thing and get the grant and wind up traveling all through time and... But it won't do us any good if you have a heart attack.
Heart attack? This ticker works just fine, thank you. Would you care to Indian wrestle?
You'd beat me.
Well, of course. You think I'd challenge anybody I couldn't? For instance, that strapping young simian who is, even as we speak, completely demolishing our only AC-DC rectifier. Albert, why are you doing that?
Soldering gun in one hand, round-nose pliers in the other, Troy Talbot was hard at work cannibalizing what was left of the space-time ship's innards. He yanked, and out came another salvageable capacitor from a carbonized circuit board. He held the smallish cylinder up to the light and examined it as a dentist would an extracted bicuspid.
Yep, she's not burned. Maybe we can use it in some other breadboard.
Talbot, may I ask what we are going to do when the ship needs alternating current and we don't have a rectifier circuit to impart a sensual sine wave to the ebb and flow electromagnetic energy?
Doc, you can ask, but I don't have an answer for you. All I know is this here rectifier is shot, and we don't have enough parts to make a new one.
In other words, we're sunk.
Yeah, that's about the size of it.
On second thought, maybe what I do need is a good night's sleep. At least some bed rest. Preferably not unilateral.
I haven't had any rest since Monday night.
And here it is Thursday, and the demonstration's tomorrow at 10 a.m., and we are sunk.
Never say die, Dr. D.
Let's face it, gang. We're up the creek without an outboard. We're through. We are history.
We'll get things back together, at least to the point where we can show them something. They'll see the circuitry registering on the instruments.
What instruments? They're all burnt out junk.
Well, at least we can show them that we once had instruments.
I'm afraid the doc's right, Diane. We got nothing but the pile of scrap metal.
Well, that should be enough.
Fleitheimer will go for it, but the rest will take one look and say, very interesting, but of what scientific value is it? And I won't have an answer except to say that I'm a Ph.D., and I ought to know what I'm doing, to which they'll reply, sorry, we're not falling for any more BS. Which I'm perfectly capable of piling higher than anyone, but there's a limit to how much you can store in the barn, if you catch my drift.
Still believe you, Dr. D. At least Mr. Flytimer will.
Sam won't be able to persuade his own foundation to fork over $5,000 because Sarah will be against it and Sam will be outvoted.
But it's his money.
When you have as much as Sam does, it doesn't belong to you anymore. It belongs to men in suits with briefcases and beady little eyes.
And we've spent most of the 400.
Yep. Should have done better damage assessment.
We didn't have time.
But we'll at least have the ship itself to show them. They'll get some idea of the possibilities.
The possibilities for what? We still don't know what the thing will do, when, and if it works. I think, though I'm not sure, that it lifted off the ground, which means it might have gone gravity negative at that instant. Okay, say it does fly. How do we control it? I mean, the thing could go sailing off anywhere. We could land in,
Peru!
Peru?
Peru! To see the Incan ruins. The Incas were a fascinating people living way up there in the Andes. Some archaeologists say there's still great cities far up in the peaks. There may still be ancient Incas living there.
Talbot, you've been reading National Geographic to look at the bare breasts again.
Doc, that's not fair. It's educational. You're making Diane blush.
Why?
She's beet red.
Actually, I would say it's more of a distinct magenta. Sorry, Diane.
Oh, that's all right, Dr. D. I'm a grown woman.
Full grown, I'd say. Anyway, we'd have no way of getting back.
Why couldn't we take a plane?
Because we'd be dead. Because once the ship takes off, if it ever does, we won't be able to control it. Isn't that wonderful? If we succeed, we die.
We'll tie a static line to the ship.
Then our data will be useless because we... Oh, I can't go on. The hell with it. I'm giving up.
We can't give up now, Dr. D.
Yes, we can. Before we succeed and kill ourselves. I'm calling the demonstration off.
No!
Get me Wussman on the line, Diane.
I won't.
Do so, or I will spank your tiny little tushy.
You're going to make me blush again. All right, Doctor.
Dejectedly, Diane crossed the lab and entered the control room, which communicated with a small office. Presently, Troy stood, laid his tools on the workbench, and took off his work gloves.
I have to be moseying, Doc. Practice.
Go on. Desert me like a rat leaving a sinking ship.
Squeak, squeak.
Yeah, save the rapier wit for State U.
You know, we don't have a chance against State U. We shouldn't even be playing them. We used to play them because we had an unusually good team for a small college.
Doctor!
Did you get Wussman on the line?
No, Doctor. There's a delivery truck here, and they say they have a whole bunch of crates for you.
Huh? I didn't order anything. Must be some mistake.
No mistake. Here's the bill of lading.
Let me see that. What in the world? Electronic parts and other equipment. Diane, you know we didn't send for this. And who the hell is this sender? Future Unlimited. Must be a gag.
If it's a gag, it's an expensive one. This shipment's definitely not COD.
So, all right already. Tell them to haul the junk in.
Vivian. Oh, Vivian.
A few hardy crickets, braving the crisp fall night, sang their dismay at the huge Gothic horror of a moon that was peeking over the hills to the east of town. Geoffrey Wussman cupped his hands to his mouth and, in a hoarse meld of whisper and shout, tried again.
Vivian.
Vivian's apartment looked dark. Geoffrey took a step back and peered upward. No, some faint light. From a small table lamp, probably. Vivian hadn't been answering her telephone. He had kept calling all day until, exasperated, he went to her place to snoop. When nothing came of the snooping, he made so bold as to knock quietly at her door. No one answered, yet somehow he knew she was in there.
Vivian. Vivian, please.
Wussman could hear snatches of conversation. Then the window shut and the curtain was drawn. Darkness returned. Geoffrey breathed again. After waiting a moment, he rose and stepped out from the bushes. Suddenly, he was hit by a shower of some gritty substance. Sand? He brushed the stuff out of his hair. A peculiar but familiar aroma came to him. Bringing a hand to his shoulder, he felt a soft, clay-like lump of something. He looked up toward Vivian's window. It slammed shut. She had dumped the contents of the cat box on him. He spat and choked, frantically dusting himself off. After a quick search through the bushes, he found an outdoor spigot and cleaned himself as best he could. Then he went back and took his former stance below the window.
Vivian, open up. Open up or I'll make a scene.
Get your gnomish little butt up here.
Vivian bade him enter a darkened apartment, the only light leaking through a half-closed bathroom door. But Geoffrey could pick out her dazzling figure, accented as it was by another outfit of the sort she favored. This one was a tight one-piece.
Vivian, darling, I had to see you. I had to know if you'll forgive me, sweetest. I'm sorry for what I did, for not backing you up, for not sticking by you, but I had a good reason, dearest, good reason. Demopulos had old Sam hooked. He really did. And there was nothing I could...
Keep your voice down.
Oh, but Vivian, lover, I just...
Come in here.
Vivian, what's wrong?
Wussman took one step into the small living room and halted. The red glowing jewel of a lit cigarette moved languidly in the darkness near the opposite corner.
Oh, I didn't know you had company. Really, I'm very sorry.
Just sit down and shut up.
I'll just go over there.
Vivian, some light would not be great risk.
Perhaps just this small one.
Is much better.
The speaker was now revealed as a thin, mustachioed man in a dark, well-tailored suit. He was 35 to 40 years of age, perhaps a well-maintained 45. A dark trench coat and hat lay draped across the back of an easy chair in which he sat cross-legged, smiling, confident, and at ease.
Dr. Geoffrey Wussman, may I present Arkady Stupilov of the Soviet Embassy in Washington.
It's great pleasure to meet you, Dr. Wussman. I have heard much about you from Vivian. Please, do not get up.
Nice to meet you.
Arkady is an old friend. He was in town and gave me a call.
I've been calling all day.
I was out.
Vivian, if you don't mind my saying so, you're lying.
Be quiet. I shouldn't even be talking to you.
Oh, Viv, dear, about the meeting. I had no choice, really. It was just...
It doesn't matter now. Forget it. We have bigger fish to fry.
No? Like what?
Nazi spy.
Oh, well, actually, you, pardon me, did you say Nazi spy?
They are lurking about, and they are very interested in secret project of your Greek colleague.
Dr. Demopulos? Really? Nazi spies? Imagine that.
Fascists have great support around the world, even in this country.
Bourgeois democracies are little better than fascist fronts.
Perhaps they are crypto-fascist.
Semantics.
Is no time for academic discussion. What do we do?
Arkady, we break into that place and see what's up and what we can do.
Is obviously best tactic. But unfortunately, I am far from my base of operations. I can give only limited support.
We won't be needing you or Natasha. Jeffrey and I can handle it.
Me?
You owe me.
Well, what do you want me to do?
We have to get into the lab annex and see what that shipment was.
Shipment?
Yes. Demopulos took a big shipment of equipment from an unknown source. My people have tried tracing it to its origin, unsuccessfully. It's quite mysterious.
Oh. Vivian, how do you intend to get into the annex? Demetrius hasn't left the place for days, has he?
No.
And both doors are bolted.
They have to go home at some point. Then we'll get inside.
Yeah, but the campus police have standing orders from Demetrius to keep an eye on the place.
How good are you with a broom?
Broom?
Here, try this uniform on for size.
What is game?
We are the janitorial crew tonight. When Demopulos and his stooges leave, we're in there.
Yeah, but the key...
As head of the physics department, you have a master pass key.
Oh, that's right. I do.
Tomorrow is the demonstration. They have to finish sometime tonight, and after that, they'll all go home to get some rest to be fresh for the test run.
Yeah, but they might not. Besides, we'll be at the demonstration. Why can't we just wait until tomorrow?
I've got to get at Demetrios' notebooks. He keeps them in the lab, I'm sure of it.
Why do you have to do that? You mean you're going to steal them, Vivian? Really, this is just...
Not steal them, silly. Just photograph them with Arkady's miniature camera.
Was developed in Soviet Union, but now made in Japan.
Darndest looking thing. Vivian, this is starting to sound very suspicious.
You'd rather the Nazis got the secret?
Well, I suppose we should do something to prevent Hitler from getting Demetrius a secret, if Demetrius has a secret. But I don't understand one thing.
Which is?
Pardon me, Mr. Stupov, but what's the Soviet government's interest in this? Didn't your Mr. Stalin just sign a treaty with Hitler?
His brilliant ploy. Comrade Stalin knows what he is doing. Let West destroy itself. His last death throes of fascist capitalism. Then we pick up pieces. Soon, whole world will be workers' state.
Right. Listen, Jeffrey. Does science belong to the world or to one selfish country?
Oh, what? To the world, to humanity.
Exactly. So, what's your problem?
Good.
As soon as Natasha calls in that the coast is clear, we'll move. Better get into those duds. Can you fake a janitor's accent?
What in the world? Electronic parts and other equipment? Diane, you know we didn't send for this. And who the hell is this sender? Future Unlimited. Must be a gag.
If it's a gag, it's an expensive one. This shipment's definitely not COD.
So, all right already. Tell them to haul the junk in.
The delivery men hauled in the junk, which consisted of 5 medium-size, heavy-duty crates. Troy fetched a crowbar from the bench and, at the professor's urging, pried the tops off them. What lay packed carefully within, nestled in excelsior and cotton wadding, shocked even the jaded Demetrius.
What is this stuff?
Parts!
Parts for what?
You got me, Doc, but look at this gadget. This tag says it's a rectifier board, but it does 15 other kinds of electronic circuit jobs.
That? It's nothing but a sliver of bakelite or plastic. Where are the tools?
Beats the hell out of me, Doc. Oops, sorry, Diane. I didn't mean to swear.
Don't worry, Troy. What's this, Dr. D? The label says Y3984-UD, nanoprocessor cluster. What's a nanoprocessor?
A miniature electronic brain? A cluster of them, no less. That's my guess.
You mean it processes data? But it's a jelly bean with 2 leads coming out of it.
Solid-state electronics on a hereto undreamed-of level of miniaturization is my next guess. What's it all for?
Look at this big one over here. I don't know if this is electronic or what, but it says antimatter power plant. Sounds potent.
Ye gods! Antimatter? Matter identical to the earthly sort, but of reversed electrical potential. Up to now, it's only been a wild theory, and here's a technology based on it. Hey, I'm getting a little dizzy. I'd better sit down.
This is all rather disorienting.
There's only one thing all this stuff is intended for.
What?
The professor jumped up. Following his nose, he searched every crate, finally pulling out a cardboard tube. He popped open a metal lid on one end and extracted a cylinder of rolled papers. These he unfurled and examined curiously before pronouncing...
Assembly instructions. What's all this for, you ask? It's for that worthless copper sphere of ours right over there.
But who said all this stuff? Well, how did they know? And how could they?
Something fishy is definitely going on around here, Doc.
Brilliant deduction, Sherlock.
Dr. Demopoulos, do you mean to say that these parts and components were sent to us so we could fix the space-time ship?
Get with the program, Polly. Yes, they're meant to go into our little jalopy there. Someone, somewhere, don't ask me who or where, has a deep interest in this project and wants it to succeed.
The government.
Our government? Maybe. But I doubt they could come up with an antimatter power plant. Why, no one's even done a sustained fission reaction yet, let alone something as fancy as that.
The Germans?
Let's hope not. Otherwise, you can kiss Europe goodbye.
The Japanese, then.
Oh, come on. The Japanese are industrious, but hardly capable of outpacing the West in technology. The funny thing is, they make such damn good cameras.
Then who, Doc? Mussolini?
Don't be absurd. Besides, well, whoever it is, they have my undying thanks, I think. Then again, I think I'd have rather done it myself.
But these discoveries are monumental, Doctor. This technology is years advanced over anything on Earth. We owe it to science, no, to the world, to continue our efforts.
Diane, you're right. I'd like to say a few words. In times like these, when we all have to pull together...
Hey, Doc, you going to make speeches or pitch in?
I thought you had football practice. Don't you have to go out there and win one for old F.U.?
More important things in this universe.
Here's the screwdriver. Now get screwing.
Anything you say.
Well, folks, that's all for this episode here on Randy's Old Time Radio Shows. Now, bringing these golden oldies back to life takes no small amount of time and effort from our good friend Randy, cleaning up the audio, converting the files, and making sure each show has the best audio possible. If you've enjoyed the program and you'd like to help keep these classics on the airwaves night after night, why not consider a small donation? Every penny goes straight to supporting Randy's work and helping this channel stay on the air. You'll find the links down in the description below. And for those of you kind souls who've already given, Randy tips his fedora to you. Your support truly keeps this old radio spirit alive. Thanks ever so much. And until next time, keep those dials tuned and keep the memories rolling.